Hey, this is Bowtie Dave. Wanted to bring a couple of scourges to you for Florida. I'm talking about problems, things that really are very dangerous for us here in Florida as far as plants, and a couple things I've learned, but I want to show you just a few. One thing that's kind of interesting, I know in my video tour I talked about the vines that were growing up in my azaleas, and I did a lot of work on getting rid of those, but I found a tuber on the bottom of one of them. I didn't know they had tubers, but that's obviously problematic. But here I put it on against my shirt. Yeah, so now that I know that, I'm kind of excited to be able to dig up better those vines to keep growing into my azaleas and stuff. So I'm going to make an effort to take care of those better. Let me show you another scourge. This right here used to be a palm tree, a sago palm. In fact, it's trying to grow up new palm trees here. This is attempts at it growing here, here, here. The sago palm is an invasive species from Japan, and it creates berries that are actually poisonous to pets, and it is a very dangerous plant. Not only that, it grows to a point where the super spiky sharp branches are eye level, and those things can poke out an eye. This is a plant to keep in control. There are a few things suggested that you can use to replace this that's more native to Florida, but this sago palm is a real problem in Florida. Do not plant this in your yard. If you've got one in your yard, please consider replacing it. I cut this thing out the very first thing. It's the first thing I did in the yard when we moved into this house, and oh look, here's another one over here, just growing out of the middle of nowhere. But I'm just going to continue mowing these down until this thing dies. It'll eventually die off and not be up. Oh, I just broke off a piece of one growing down here, a little hunk of it. So now for the other scourge that I've been dealing with. This here is an air potato. It is a vine, a very invasive vine. And of course you can see I got a tripod here, which means in a minute I'm gonna dig that thing out. But I've been doing some work here, and air potatoes, they come in all shapes and sizes. This is a relatively small one. You can see the anatomy of one of these things with this one right here. Let me put it over here in the shade, maybe you can see a little better. You can see it grows the vine, but it sprouts from this little air potato. And this is a tiny, tiny one, but look at this, look at it in comparison to this. And you can see here, this one here, whoop, don't let these away. This big one here actually made this one. I happened to find this one sitting on top of the ground, fortunately. Stopped it from producing, but I pulled out over 2 dozen, probably close to 3 dozen air potatoes from my garden. And my neighbor has a compost bin over there behind that fence. I've been going over there and helping keep it clear, but it's been growing along this fence next to the beehive, and it's been a nightmare. The worst of it is in my ligustrum or privet hedge over here, that round tree. And I've been trying to pull out the air potatoes out of the ground, but I've been unsuccessful in most cases, which means it'll come back again. But the nice thing is they grow pretty straight. And what I do is I use my trowel. Here, let me put you on the tripod real quick. So here we have the air potato, and this, I'm suspecting, due to the size of that leaf, we might have a big one down here. So anyway, I've got, let me get some gloves on here. Whenever I dig in the dirt, I can't use the security to unlock my phone because of the fingerprint. So I'm trying to remember to wear gloves more often in here. But anyway, so I'm digging down carefully on either side of this to try to find this potato. And so I got 6 inches of compost. Now, looky there, there's the roots right there. Normally the roots happen right above the potato. So I very carefully go like that and then get underneath here. Let's see how big of a, oh, look at that. Wasn't much of a potato after all. Little tiny thing created that big old plant. Now, that will never produce again because I'm going to actually take that to the trash. What I did want to show you, there's one other that I haven't pulled out yet, which I'm going to, but I wanted to show this on a video. This right here is a kiwano, jelly melon, horned melon. It's supposed to be quite an incredible plant. So I'm kind of looking forward to it growing. In fact, in 2 weeks it went from not being anything to actually growing up the trellis here, and it's taken off. So I'm very excited about that. But there's a one of these air potato plants here, and I'm very excited to be able to see that the kiwano is taking it over. Look at there, it's pinching it off. I bet it would take it out eventually, but anyway, that's kind of exciting. I am going to dig this up, of course, but that's a pretty good size air potato right there. Anyway, air potato, it grows fast. Everything on this table grew in the 10 days that I was gone to Arkansas and Des Moines this past week and a half. All of that grew. I had the whole garden cleaned out, and it was a mess that I got cleaned out, but this is a lot more. I can't believe the size of some of these. They're huge. Big as my palm. That's a baseball size right there. That's amazing. Anyway, that's all. Just be careful of those scourges. People like the sago palms. They are a problem. They have been known to poison and kill dogs, and that's just sad. But try to find species that are friendly to your area. That's in Florida. If you're living in Japan, hey, you know what a sago palm is. Try to select plants for your garden, for your landscape, that are friendly to your area. You can find plants that are deer resistant if you have deer, that are rabbit resistant if you have rabbits. I like the nasturtium. The funny thing about the nasturtium are a scourge in California, from what I understand. But here, they're decorative plants. So I've picked it here because apparently it doesn't grow here like it does in California. But anyway, air potatoes, if you see these are from overseas from me, and they are prolific invaders. They're a little scary. So I am going to war on our new property with the air potatoes, and I'm calling them air potatoes. This big potato here actually will grow up in the air on a plant. As the vine climbs, this thing grows in the air with from that stem, and then when they get heavy enough, they break off and fall to the ground and plant themselves, sprout roots, and grow another vine. So the previous owner told me a funny story. He said a former girlfriend of his, he's an older fella, he said a former girlfriend of his told him to plant one of these. She had one of these things in her stuff, and she said, "Here, plant this to remember me by." And he told me, he says, "Yeah, every time I see that air potato vine come up somewhere, I remember it, but it ain't nice." So anyway, Please like and share this video. It's a good warning for people in Florida and elsewhere, because there's invasive species everywhere. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. And you know, you say, well, this thing looks great, so you go plant it and do no research and find out it's invasive and it does terrible things. We've had so much history like that that's just been a nightmare for many, many people. So be careful of that. Please like this video, and hey, most of all, please subscribe to my channel. We're trying to get up to 100 subscribers so we can get our custom URL. And I'd love to, if you've got a friend or someone who could benefit from this, or someone that just might enjoy gardening, then please ask them to subscribe to the channel and take a look at some of the videos. So anyway, God bless you, and y'all have a wonderful day, and be safe with the things that you plant in your garden. Thank you.